This evening, you've got a family emergency. Okay. Call to order this special study session of Albion City Council, and I thank all of you for joining us. If you have a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. And if you would all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me, I'd appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Snyder, if you would call the roll.
Councilmember Clark. Here. Reed. Here. Brown. Here. Lawler.
Here.
Spicer.
Here.
Williamson. And Mayor Atchison.
Here. Thank you. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to have so many World War II veterans with us here this evening. I think we have 8 veterans here tonight, 7 or 8. And on behalf of the city and everybody present, we thank you for your service. You are part of America's greatest generation, and I can't think of a better way to describe how much that the world and this country owes to you. So thank you all. So let's see. So I've got Senator Peters, representative, is here with us this evening, and he has a letter for each of you. If you'd come forward and join me. And County Commissioner Tompkins is here, and you have a proclamation as well. And Ms. Todd, you'll be here representing the senator, right? So I will come down here at the podium and try to do these. Okay. Test. All right. And I'll stand right over here. Okay. This proclamation recognizing World War II veterans as the greatest generation. Whereas World War II forever altered the political alignment and social structure of the world, and whereas the Americans who fought during World War II are known as the greatest generation, you served your country with incredible courage and bravery. The cost of freedom was very high and was paid by the sacrifices you made for all of us. And whereas during World War II, over 16 million Americans served in the United States Armed Forces, with 290,000 killed in action and 670,000 wounded, 130,201 American prisoners of war, of whom 116,129 returned home after the war. And whereas more than 75 sons and daughters of Albion served during World War II, and whereas on the September 2nd, 1945, Japan formally signed the Instrument of Surrender on board the USS Missouri, marking the official ending of World War II. And whereas today, 74 years later, we pay tribute to all who answered the call of duty in World War II, but especially Donald Benz, Dr. James Curtis, R.B. Bud Davis, Sam Freya, Harold Mills, Kenneth Kaiser, Paul Newman, John Sharp, Robert Clark, and Mr. Robert Holt, who served with honor and distinction in the United States Armed Forces during World War II and continue today to serve as role models in our community. Now, therefore, I, Dave Atchison, Mayor of Albion, on behalf of the City Council, urge everyone to stand and join me as we honor the courageous service members who risked everything to fight the tyranny of oppression and change the course of history forever. We will never forget the service and selfless sacrifice of so many soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen, for those we lost and the veterans who made it home. Thank you. The world owes you a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid. In witness whereof I have set my hand unto this and fix the seal of the city of Albion, Michigan, on this 2nd day of September, in the year 2019. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Null-Williams, and I am the Mid-Michigan Regional Director for U.S. Senator Gary Peters. First and foremost, it's an absolute honor to be here this evening. And the Senator sends his regards and, of course, his support to our servicemen that are in uniform today and those that have been in uniform is a key priority for the Senator in supporting all of those efforts moving forward. And again, he thanks you for your service, your dedication, your commitment, as well as the family that's able to join this evening in celebration of your accomplishments. Again, thank you. And I also have a letter from the Senator for each one of the veterans that are here this evening. Thank you.
Well, good evening. Gary Tompkins, York County Commissioner in the 7th District. You know, this is a very special time for me, certainly, because my grandfather, who's been passed for now 20 years, served in World War II, was an MP in the Army, guarded German prisoners, and he holds a special place in my heart. I've got his picture on my wall, his military picture, so that I can remind me of how heroic he was each and every day. So I have a proclamation that I'm going to read into the record for each one of you to be able to take home in a frame, so I'm going to read it as we go now. This is the 7th District of Calhoun County, County Commissioner Proclamation. Whereas when we see our World War II veterans, we are reminded that since our country's birth, Americans have responded to military threats against liberty and democracy, whether at home or in remote areas of the world. We have long recognized that our veterans of World War II are a special group of people, often heralded as the greatest generation, that have been a major resource to our nation. And whereas World War II has long been recognized as the most significant event of the 20th century. Without the sacrifices of those who fought the Axis aggression, Americans would have not had the freedoms and opportunities that they enjoy today. And whereas more than 16 million men and women served in uniform, and more than 400,000 Americans died in the war, as well as millions more who supported the effort at home. And of course, on September 2nd, 1945, Japan formally signed the Instrument of Surrender, making the official ending of World War II. And whereas we've come together today, 74 years later, to honor the high moral purpose and idealism that motivated the nation's call to arms, and to serve as a lasting tribute to the spirit, sacrifice, and commitment of the American people to the common defense of the nation and to the broader causes of peace and freedom in the world. And whereas the sons and daughters of Eastern Calhoun County in no small way rose to the challenge of World War II and served their country valiantly overseas and at home, some gave all gave some. After the war, these same sons and daughters continued to serve their community through hard work, sacrifice, and reliability. Now, therefore, I, Gary Tompkins, Calhoun County Commissioner of the 7th District, do hereby recognize and congratulate each of you for your heroic, honorable service to the citizens of not only the United States, and to extend each of you our deepest appreciation and gratitude. In witness thereof, I want to set my hand and recognize again each of you on this heroic, honorable service to our country on this 3rd day of September 2019. Again, words cannot express my deepest gratitude, all of our deepest gratitude to your service. Only thing we can just simply say thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And good evening to all of you. My name is Karen Todd, and I work in the office of State Senator Dr. John Bison, who was unable to make it tonight. Many of you know Senator Bison. He's loves coming to Albion, loves sharing time with you, spending time with you, and hopes to see all of you soon. Well, thank you to the Mayor Atchison, and City Council for hosting this event this evening. It's a great honor, very thoughtful of you to do something like that. And so I'll just read just a short paragraph that of the certificates that I have brought tonight on behalf of State Senator Bison, as well as a few other representatives and senators. There are a few of you who live in the 62nd District, but some live over in the Jackson area, right on the line, it seems as if. So these tributes are coming from State Senator Bison, State Representative Jim Hodsma, State Representative Matt Hall, State Senator Mike Shirkey, and State Representative Leitner. So you have served our state and nation with courage and distinction. Your career is a study in the power of hard work, dedication, and commitment to our nation, to your career, to your family, and your state. We are clearly grateful for your achievements and are grateful that we can capture and cherish all of these moments. Again, thank you so much for having us this evening, and congratulations.
I apologize, I'm not very good with names. I want to make sure we get the right presentations to each veteran. We have some pins for you. Some of them you got 74 years ago, the World War II Victory Medals. We have a pin that represents that. The Honorable Service in World War II, or is lovingly referred to as the Ruptured Duck. And then we have a pin with the flag, World War II veteran. So we'll make sure we get everyone a copy of this, and I think there may be one or two that weren't able to make it this evening, and we will mail their certificates and pins to them. So,
Mayor, is it possible that we could have each of the veterans introduce themselves?
that would be fantastic.
Give them a round of applause for each one, so if we could do that, that'd be wonderful.
I just, you want your name? Mom Clark. I just want to thank everybody for the honor.
Thank you.
Sam Free. I feel like a little bit of a fraud here, and I told the mayor that I didn't go into the Army until after the war was over. While I'm technically a World War II veteran, I never fought anything.
I'm not used to this. It's Paul Newman, and I'd like to clarify something. I made Hey, I'll get with it in a minute. But I'd like to say that I came home from the service September 17th, 1947, and I came from a family of 7 with 3 older brothers, and she asked me if anything impressed me much, and I said, well, not too much anymore, but it did bring back a lot of memories. And then I made a statement, I said, some good and some bad. Well, that didn't sound exactly right, so I'd like to clarify that, because when I got home, I think what I meant by that was I didn't know where my brothers were, and they didn't know where I was, and they were all there. So I'm saying it for them. They've done a heck of a lot more than I did. And they're not with me, of course, anymore. But I would like to do it for my 3 brothers. Thank you.
All that I can say, I thank God that I'm back here walking and talking.
Amen.
Because good sense. So, 74 years ago, I was here, and I just come back to this town. I just got back to this town. And I'm glad to see my brother. I thank you.
I thank everybody that I'm standing here because I'll tell this to you now. Sit down. My first day in combat, I was in the Army. They told us to go set up our gun. On the way to set up our gun, I hit an anti-tank mine. Destroyed my truck. I didn't get a scratch.
Thank you, sir. What's your name?
Don Benz.
Vince, thank you so much. Don Benz.
I had finished my pre-medical studies at Albion College and was accepted to medical school. And during World War II, the Defense Department took over all the medical schools in the country, so that for all the men, you were either in the Army or the Navy. I was in the Army at the University of Michigan. We went to school all during the year without summer vacation, because the idea was to produce as many physicians as they could so that they would be able to send them to take care of the soldiers overseas. The war ended at the end of my junior year, but I was able to finish with the GI Bill of Rights, so that I never went overseas, but I had to pay back for having received most of my medical education during World War II. I had to go back and serve in the Korean War for 3 years. But luckily enough, I was not a private. I was a captain in the Air Force at that time.
Yeah, my name is Harold Mills. I served in the USS Navy aboard 2 cruisers in the South Pacific during World War II.
Okay. I feel that.
Oh, in World War II?
Were you?
No, okay, no.
My apologies. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you.
John Sharp.
Mr. Sharp,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for your service. I got to sit and talk with you one afternoon.
Everything you people do.
Oh, it pales in comparison.
Pardon?
What we do pales in comparison to what you and your comrades did.
Well, my father served in World War I and managed to survive and came back, and he couldn't believe that his son graduating from high school at 17, and I wanted to join the Navy and be a naval pilot. And he and my mother had to sign the papers for me to be able to join at 17, because you had to be 18. And the thing I remember about him is that he felt very strongly in everything about the country and democracy and what World War I had accomplished. And when he and my mother took me to the bus to go to basic over at Great Lakes in the Navy. He and my mother accompanied me to the bus, and he said, I can't believe, John, that my son is in the Second World War. He said, I thought the First World War would end all wars. And as a result, it was a big sacrifice for him to see me leave and maybe never see me again. And obviously, I went through Great Lakes training, and the next thing was I had one flight down on James Island, South Carolina, and the war with Japan became worse, and the Navy reassigned me to San Diego to go to a medic school out there in Balboa Park. And I went through that medic school, and when I graduated in the Navy as a medic for them, and began to serve them, and as the war intensified toward the last of it, I had a lot of experiences in the Navy, but the big thing that got me was I didn't know that the Navy could assign you to the Marine Corps. And they assigned me as a medic with the Marines and sent me to Parris Island. And that was a complete shock to me because I had to learn hand-to-hand combat and everything on Parris Island with the Marines. But the war became more intense, and the one thing I can tell you is that I'm very proud of our country and what people did to make a free democracy and a life that we can live. And I feel very strongly about that. And obviously, you know that as time went on, when I went on the GI Bill to Albion College, and I graduated from there along with one term at down in Tennessee at Vanderbilt University. Well, I came back, but my dad said when I was in Albion College, he said, no, I want you to join the Legion. I belong. And so I joined the Legion.
Thank you, sir. He's not here. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Harold.
Was it Harold?
I'm told, yeah.
Sitting next to him.
Okay. Okay. Is Bud Davis here? Okay, thank you. All right. So, yes, we'll take care of that and we'll get the other information. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have cake if you want some. I didn't. Okay. So we do have cake out in the lobby as soon as we break up here. Next item is public comments. If anybody would like to make a public comment this evening. He's not here. We ask. Nope, come up to the microphone, state your name and address.
I want to address this comment to the fact that just because these guys some of the guys individually, did not go hand-to-hand combat. You were there ready to go at any time, and you're just as much a veteran as the guy that fought hand-to-hand. We're proud of all of you. We really are.
Sir, we need your name and address, please. Yeah. We're the government. We got to do a certain way, even though the mayor can't.
James Jennings, and I live in Marengo Township, 102 Chapin Lake Trail. And,
Thank you.
it's a martial art.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry. If we have any other public comments? Okay. Offer opportunity for council members who wish to make a comment?
Just like to say thank you to all of you, because if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be here now.
Councilmember Spicer.
I just want to echo what Councilwoman Reed said. Thank you for your service. Yes.
I'd like to thank you for your service, and I'd like to also say to you that my father was also a veteran, and I hold each one of you in a prayer at night, because there's things that I know that you went through that you never talk about, because I've worked with veterans, but it's not to be thought as if we don't think about it. You know, we think about it in prayer. So we hold you up, and we appreciate you so much.
Just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to your families for bringing you here and coming with you tonight. Our pleasure to recognize you for your service, and this is just a small token of what you really deserve for what you've done for this country, so thank you.
I just want to echo what all the council members are saying tonight, and we do appreciate your service. My father is also a veteran. I served in the military for 8 years myself, and I have saw some of the struggles that you may go through, but with God's help, we can all get through it. Thank you.
I want to thank the American Legion for being here. I thank each and every one of you veterans from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you taking the time and your family to get you here. This is a big honor for me to be able to meet you, shake your hand, and thank you, look you in the eye and say thank you for everything that you've done. So we're going to wrap up here. There's cake out in the lobby, and please eat lots of cake. So if I can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Adjourned.